Okay, I'm here with Emma Byrne from Wellbeing. Just tell us a wee bit about the organisation, please, Emma.
So we are here for suicide and mental health, particularly for those in the West. So I think just this month we covered something like 689 client hours. So like that's amazing for such a small wee building and all how much people that we've covered in such a short amount of time. So
when was it actually formed?
2021.
So it's just been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of you is there that's actually working within the facility?
I'm not sure how many there is working here, but I know, see, I'm an art psychotherapist, so there's 2 art therapists at the moment, and we have a play therapist, and then there's a lot of like counsellors and befrienders and like Desi and Karen and stuff. They would go out to people's houses and do like assessments and check in on families who have been affected by like suicide or people in their family who have been suffering from self-harm and stuff. So
is it a paid capacity or is it volunteers?
a lot of it is volunteered, especially because they don't get an awful lot of funding at the minute because it's still relatively new. There's only a few who are actually here getting paid work, so volunteers are amazing. Like they do so much work for the charity.
Yeah, without volunteers you would really never get anything up and
No,
running.
not at all.
And as you say, the funding pool out there is quite small.
Yeah,
there's a lot of organisations fighting for the same pot of fund. So it's quite hard to get, so it is.
It is.
And you were saying there your capacity was art
psychotherapy.
Art psychotherapy. Explain to me what that's about, please.
So it's therapy, but you're using art as like the main form of communication.
Okay.
So it helps for people. Loads of people think it's just for children, but it helps for like adolescents and older people as well, and adults, like any age at all. It's just that what we can find really hard to kind of express verbally, we can use art materials to be able to do that.
Okay, is it just through sort of paints and drawings, that type of art, or musically, or
it can be
role playing or anything to get there?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. So you can do like making puppets, or like sandboxes, lights, making shadows. It covers everything. It's not just the usual fine art things like painting and like charcoal and whatever else. Like it covers so much.
Range things.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
What sort of because you're saying you've dealt with 689 cases you've dealt with in over a year?
No, so over the month of October, West
just
Wellbeing,
in 1 month.
In 1 month,
you've dealt with 689 cases.
Yeah, West Wellbeing has dealt with 689 hours. So that's contact hours.
Wow.
I know.
Are you on call, or is there sad opening hours and stuff where
so
people can get in touch with you?
People will ring in and then they can set up like an assessment. They can come in and talk to people about whatever's wrong, and then through the assessment they'll kind of figure out what is the best fit for them, whether it would be like a befriender or a counsellor or like an arts therapist or play therapist.
That's a crazy number, really, like to be dealing with people in the space of 1 month. I thought that was just the 1 year there.
No, that was just last month.
But that really highlights what you're actually dealing with on the ground out there. What age range are you sort of dealing with? Is there a specific age range, or does it fluctuate, or is there one that's sort of more primary than that and then the rest?
It definitely fluctuates. So we have all ages at the minute. Currently I'm working with the children. So I was here.
What are your classes children are at the age?
So from say 4 up to the age of like 10, 11.
In this building, or are you going?
No, in this building.
Right, okay.
So I started here, it was last year I started, and I was still in my training, so I was volunteering here to get my hours for being able to pass my course.
Right, okay.
So the youngest I had then was 4, and at the minute I'm working up to the age of 11. And then I'm starting with new clients soon as well, and they're adolescents.
So that age range there, are they coming here to see you to take part in the arts therapy because of things that's happened to them outside, based around mental health and suicide within their family based and background? Right, okay, that's good. So they come here and you're helping them cope or express themselves, or talk about their emotions and stuff like that, or maybe even just provide some sort of escapism.
Yes, exactly. That's mainly what we do, especially for the younger ones. it's a kind of safe place for them to be able to express everything that they're bottling up inside. Because if you think about it, like young children, most of their decisions are being made by other people, and everyone else's decisions that are making are really affecting them, and they don't have any kind of way to, like monitor that or to change it or whatever else. So when they come in here, that's their time to be able to blow off the steam and being able to share with someone that they mightn't be able to do with anyone else.
Yeah.
And they come in and they can make their own decisions while they're here, and that's massive for them.
Yeah, because obviously the main problem is getting people to take that first step and talk about it, or
Yeah.
even to be in a room and help facilitate, try and deal with the issues, even if you're not really dealing with the issues. You say providing somewhere for them to just come and have that wee bit of escapism. Are you just specifically working with people between that age range, 4 to 11?
At the minute, I have been, but I am starting another day in here. We got a bit more funding, so I'm coming in another day and I'll be working with adolescents.
Okay.
So
teens.
Yeah.
What would you say that has been the real benefit to most of the young people that you've been working with?
I think having such an amazing service so close to home is just the most amazing thing that anyone could have done for them, because all the facilities and services that are available at the moment, you usually have to travel to them, and many people here don't have that ability, especially for the young people, if they don't come from a home where people are going to be able to bring them down, or just there's so many reasons, or when they're coming out of school they might not be able to make it down the road in time to make their appointment. So, and because there is so much demand, you lose appointments so quickly, so if you don't make it, they're kind of being set up to fail. But because it's so close to home, it's in their community, it's so accessible for them. So I think that is probably the most amazing thing about this being here.
Because it's on their doorstep and they're able to have access it so easily.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what got you into this line of work?
I think whenever I was younger, or like especially whenever I was a teenager, I found it really, really difficult to express how I was feeling or even understand how I was feeling. And I had a lot going on, so art would have always been like my crutch. I would have just used it, and I've always loved art. Like I've had the privilege that I've always been interested in it.
Yeah.
Whereas many people don't. So whenever I was kind of trying to work out what I wanted to be when I was older and stuff, and came across art therapy, I was like, that's amazing. Like that is just incredible, and it was just everything that I wanted to do. I've always wanted to help people, but I could never leave art. Like just always got drew back to it. So I was like, it's brilliant. It's kind of amalgamating the both of them.
So you found a way to merge
Yeah.
both things to actually help people, plus still doing something that you love by using that thing that you love. So was art something that you really put your time into in school? Was that obviously one of your main subjects that you paid attention to?
Yeah.
Did you go into further education or anything with that?
Yeah.
Or?
So I done GCSE art, and then whenever I was doing my A-levels, I actually picked all the really responsible kind of subjects. I was like, I'm going to get a job in this. And then I lasted about a month and I was like, I can't do this, it's not creative enough. So I ended up moving school, changed my subjects, and then I done an extra year in my A-levels, and I was focusing on art mostly. And then I went and done my undergraduate in fine art and history of art, and then I done my master's in art psychotherapy.
Fantastic. Do you think, because off camera you told me that you were 25 years of age, and I apologise for asking, because I know that is a taboo, asking young women their age, but do you find being in that age range that stuff like that around your art and stuff that you're able to express yourself in different ways, do you think young people are struggling in ways because things like that aren't really available to them to do?
Yeah.
Or once they leave school, maybe it's not even available for them to do in school because the curriculum's so congested.
Yeah.
Things like art and sport, down till maybe an hour, 2 hours a week if you're even lucky.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's a big problem with young people at the minute, where they're not actually, they don't have access to certain things like that, where they can go and express themselves and maybe escape and put a wee bit of their stress work into something like that?
Absolutely, especially art in school. It's very, you're ticking a box, it's for a curriculum. It's not, they're not using their imagination, they're not being creative, they're not overly expressing themselves, so they're missing out on that part of what art should be. And whenever clients come in, I always say to them, it's not like art in school, because I have this fear that it needs to be like this masterpiece. I'm like, it's not about that, it's about the process. We're just
use your imagination a
Yeah,
wee bit
use your
more, be
imagination,
creative.
like how the materials feel, like how you're feeling while you're feeling the materials. Like it's all like the kind of magical aspects of making art that you kind of want them to be more in tune with,
Yeah,
rather than just what the outcome looks like. But I think, especially like with art, the materials are so expensive, and in school they're kind of taught this fine art, you know, like you have to use these materials and everything has to be of the best quality. Whereas, you know, the people around here, they don't have the financial access to be able to get those. So if we're constantly giving them this way to express themselves, whenever they leave us, they're not. It's just another. We're setting them up to fail again because they can't purchase the materials. So just teaching them how to use things that they already have, like reuse and recycle. What is about, like I have a bag of, you know, like old kind of clothes and materials that they take out and make puppets with and stuff.
okay.
So stuff that they can have at home.
Well, that was going to be one of the questions for me. Can people donate materials, like art materials, paints, paintbrushes and stuff like that? Do you accept donations and stuff?
We would, I'm sure, but mostly we would purchase our materials, and they're shared between the other art therapists and play therapists as well.
Okay.
But
The reason I was asking that is because you were saying funding's quite tight and
it
stuff
is,
like that
yeah.
there, so
But like we would kind of bring in our own stuff. So like I have a bag of materials and a bag of collage materials and stuff that I would just pick up as go along, and family members would give me materials and stuff to bring in. So I would use mostly those when I come in with.
okay. But if anybody that maybe is watching this would like to donate anything, any materials and stuff like that, they'd be more than welcome.
The best help in the world, yeah.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Fantastic. What do you think, without maybe talking too much about it, because I know sometimes there's red tape, especially around mental health. What is the biggest problem that is facing people at the minute out there, not just in your own age range, but what is it that you're finding is sort of the top of the list of why people are coming through your door?
I think there's so many reasons, but I think a lot of them can be, you know, like that transition into school, especially from COVID and socialising. It is like the amount of anxiety that the young people are facing now is just, it's insane. It's so heartbreaking to see. But I think especially with the likes of like social media and stuff, there's just really high expectations for them, and people just think they have the easiest time in the world now, and you know, they don't have it as hard as what older generations did, whereas I don't agree with it at all. Like social media just, it makes you feel like you're never doing good enough. You're seeing all these people who have everything and they're going to all these amazing places and they have these really good careers, and it's making us miss out on the really small things in life that we should be enjoying.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing that, because I want to talk to people that are on the ground and get their, just have general conversations, because for me, and a father of 5 young children, I feel that they're missing out on this type of dialogue that my generation would have normally had, because your generation's always on phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where if you were to text me and say, oh, how are you? And even if I was having a bad day, I'd probably say, oh, I'm dead on, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Where if I'd have had the call for you years ago, I'd have been able to tell by your facial expression, your body language, that maybe you weren't okay.
Absolutely.
You could have said, listen, is it okay? Do you want to take a wee dawn? There's everything all right. I think your generation's under so much peer pressure with the influencers on your TikToks and your YouTubes, the celebrities and stuff like that. There, as you touched on there, their lifestyle seems so glamorous and full of fun, and it's all about how they look, the appearance. I feel there's more pressure, not to cast them in, I say, because there's quite a lot of pressure on them in a different form, but I think for women to have to live up to the expectation of what some of the influencers are putting out there. I have 2 daughters, so I fear for them, for the anxiety and the peer pressure and the expectations that they feel they have to live up to. So were you saying there about the generation thing, you don't think that they're getting a lot easier? They're definitely not getting a lot easier, because it would have been okay to feel a wee bit self-conscious in my day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you didn't.
Natural.
It's natural. Everybody does have a bit of self-consciousness. But because you're always looking at somebody else's life, you think it should be at least up to that standard. The peer pressure of that has expedited by 100 times for me. So I can see that. So that's why I'm really interested in talking to as many people as I can about their life experience, but especially young people. Because you'd mentioned there, over the last couple of years with COVID, with young people being stuck in the house, isolated, being made to feel like they were a walking disease, couldn't see family members, couldn't see friends, and their only escapism was their phone.
exactly.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that at your age range you're really seeing or having conversations with about? Is what people have been really dealing with, and why maybe there's 689 people in 1 month feeling this type of anxiety.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's the whole, we were locked up for so long, and then we were just kind of threw out back into the world again. Like, I don't think people really understood how crucial that kind of step is. Like, that's massive for people when you're cooped up for so long. And then as well, like, it would be lovely for us all to be at this really amazing home and everything is so supportive, and we have enough of everything that we need, but a lot of the time that wasn't the case for people. So especially if they're on social media and they're maybe seeing other families who look picture perfect and they're making such a good time out of being locked up and whatever else, that wasn't the reality for a lot of people around here. It was a real struggle. So as well, seeing that, I think it kind of made people more aware of their problems, and then after, when they're coming out of it, it's just they feel hard done by.
Well, see, what I was saying to you as well was because what I think they've started to lack, I think they've been lacking it because you're on your phones quite a lot anyway. That's just an assumption for me, from my generation looking down on it. The social skills that I think that they've been missing out on anyway, with being so plugged into the matrix, to use a phrase. But because you haven't had that interaction, especially, like, as I say, the age range of the teenagers till the young adulthood, that's usually when you are out meeting people, you're forming relationships, and they were neglected of that so badly over the last 2.5 years. We touched on it first in a previous question about the arts and stuff like that there, so they weren't even in school.
I know.
Even getting that 1 hour that they might have even looked forward to. Some people only like going to school for that hour of PE or that hour of art or something like that there.
True.
Do you think what you are having to deal with now is trying to restructure or help people rebuild the confidence and coming back out into the world, like you were saying, and dealing with people, maybe going to job interviews and just building them relationships again?
Absolutely. Like, especially because I'm working with the younger ones at the minute, I've noticed that their relationship with school isn't as positive as what it may have been in previous years, especially the ones who came, like, they were finishing off primary school and have now integrated into secondary school. They're finding that jump really, really difficult, because I suppose, like, if it's your usual bubble and you're socialising with them every day for the past 7 years.
How do you mean, like, if they left, if they were in P6, P7, then all of a sudden it just went straight to first year?
Straight into first year. Like, it's so difficult. And then, like they say, they didn't have those social skills while they were in lockdown and whatever else, and then they're coming out in nursery in this school with hundreds of people. It's very overwhelming for them, and they're finding it very difficult to try and kind of get through it every day. Especially the younger ones too. It's affected everyone, I suppose, but I think social media and phones and stuff have definitely kind of made it a lot harder for them to be able to socialise with new people.
The other thing that was obviously put the peer pressure onto them, because I say, obviously being a father, and I had to witness this myself, was when they were coming back out into the world. It's strange they even use that type of phrase. They were being bribed and coerced to get these sort of freedoms back with regards to COVID, vaccination, getting into concerts. That I don't know how to put the terminology, but I couldn't actually believe, because obviously there's already all that peer pressure that we've talked about, going through puberty. That's already there. Wonder what to do with your life, what career should it take. There's also much uncertainty as it is. Then till then, be coming back out into the world and feel that you're only going to get these freedoms back if you tick this box, tick that box. I felt so bad for young people. I really did. And I felt that they were being used as a tool to try and get back to the normality, that if they didn't do A, B or C, they wouldn't get it back, and also the older generation wouldn't be getting it back. So there was all that much of responsibility and anxiety and stress, or being heaped on already under anxiety and stress and responsibility.
Absolutely. And then as well, like, if you think about it, when it comes to younger ones getting vaccinated or whatever they need to do to be able to, like, go to concerts and stuff, it's usually their parents or carers helping them make that decision too, so they still don't really have any control over whatever's happening in their life. And it was massive changes, and even they get back out into the world again, it was massive changes that they maybe only had a small kind of handling over it. It was directed by everyone else. So at a time where they already feel out of control, it was magnified by 100.
Because obviously they're in that age range where they do go out quite a lot.
Yeah.
Pubs, clubs, concerts, movies even was being. And I always thought, you know, it was strange to me that they were saying young people had to get vaccinated to protect somebody to go to a nightclub, and I was thinking, well, you're not really going to bump into my granny and Thompson's.
I know, well that's it.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
The hypocrisy and the irony around that was really strange to me. But it was hard for me to watch people be bribed like that. Has any of the young people come in and been talking about anything they got there, or has it just been sort of lumped until the last 2 years?
It's been more kind of talking about integrating back into like the world again, and socialising. That has been the biggest thing that I have noticed. Even if they don't really notice it themselves, the problems that they're coming with and the issues that they might be having in school or being out with friends and stuff, it is a lot to do with that. And then if they had issues of anxiety and stuff before, after COVID, it's just going to add on to them.
Yeah. What about yourself personally? If you don't mind me asking, what about the last 2 years? Because I say you're in that demographic, you're in that age range.
Yeah.
Have you found it personally?
I actually found it very, very difficult, and then especially because I was doing my masters, I only finished at the end of summer there.
Is this an art you were doing your masters?
Yeah, art psychotherapy. So whenever everyone was getting back out into the world, the world was against me for a while. I snapped my Achilles, so that summer everyone was out. I was in the house doing nothing, and then whenever it came to everyone going out again, I was studying and had too much time. I was trying to get the rest of my hours. So literally, it's only been the past few months that I feel like I've been getting back out into the world again, and I found it extremely difficult.
Okay.
It's been very hard, but mine has been kind of prolonged because I was kind of stuck to the house for a while. But it's been so difficult.
And this line of work, has that always been something that you've been interested in? You said earlier on being able to merge one with the other.
Yeah.
Why has it been so important to you to feel like you're giving something back? It's brilliant that you're able to combine your passion with giving something back, but why are you so passionate about actually giving something back?
I think
because you're from this community and you understand what it's like?
Being from the community, and I went to St. Colum's High School, so...
It's on the Blacks Road there, is it?
The one
St. Joseph's, I think, is
down
it?
beside the Saints on Summerhill.
Yes.
So whenever I was in school, I was having a difficult time, and the teachers were beyond amazing. Like, they were helping with, like home life, not even just school. And that was just them wanting to do it. It wasn't that they had to, or obviously they have a duty of care, but they went above and beyond. And I can remember being so young going, do you know what, like, I really want to help make a difference here, because I could see the struggles of the area, and we all get this really bad stigma attached to us, and there's all these labels, and everyone thinks that we're just horrible and delinquents, and it's not the case at all. Like, it's such a good community. So I think just wanting to be a part of helping people and helping them better themselves, and to be able to get through all those stigmas and the labels, because it does really get you down. Yeah. It's really hard to get through. So I think that was kind of why I wanted to help other people here.
Well, I commend you on it, Emma, because I've been involved in volunteer work and youth work and stuff for a good part of my life, and it's important that young people like yourself are not only the face of it, because it helps younger people engaged, to feel that there's something that they can relate to.
Yeah.
But it's also brilliant to see young people from their community, because they do understand better than anyone what it's like growing up in the Falls or the Shankill or Polglass or Donegal Road or whatever it may be. They understand exactly what people are really going through, and the opportunities or the lack of opportunities that they actually have to try and get a hand up in life. So I commend you for it, and I really appreciate you talking to me today. And I wish you all the best of luck going forward. And the Wellbeing, is there any way that people can reach out to the organisation? Yes,
so they have the Facebook page. It's West Wellbeing. And then it has all the numbers and websites and stuff on it if people want to get in touch, if it's for themselves or if they want to make donations or see what we have going on. There's always a lot of fundraising and stuff going on, so it's good to check out the Facebook page.
Brilliant. Again, thanks very much for talking to me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Lovely to chat to you.
Thank you.